Welcome, guys. I'm Amanda Villarreal, and tonight we are on our team Zoom here talking about a brand new product release, which has been in the development and the making for many years, and there are also many patents on this. This is a very unique and exciting customized nutrition made personal program that is called Me+ology. And again, this is brand new. We are still learning about it and still learning about the research. And we were going to actually plan here down the road to do a specific Zoom just on the research of this Me+ology because it's that intense, the scientific research that's gone into this program. So tonight we're just going to give you an overview. We want to introduce it, make sure you know what it is, and just kind of open it up to, if you guys do have some specific questions here at the end. So to begin with, just to getting us, in the mindset of how we all know how important it is to keep, our bodies healthy. And I would have to say it should be emphasized more now than ever, the importance of health. And this is our goal here, is to really continue to try to find approaches that are unique to each of us. And that is why, in particular, this, type of system is going to be a tremendous and revolutionary program option because it is making it unique to each and one of us in what our bodies need. So again, this is not a one-size-fits-all type program, and we're going to break this down. And when we talk about individual needs, this is where I think that we can really say that this is different than anything else we've ever seen before. As you guys can kind of see on the screen here, there's a lot of different factors that go into when we are choosing our supplements. So welcome to you guys joining in here. But if you look at, some of us taking medications, our health history, our nutrients, and, there's so many things, our lifestyle and just what our goals are. And each one of us is different. So even if there were two of us on here that were even twin sisters, it's crazy, but you will still have differences. And that's what really makes this specifically unique. And I have never seen anything in the many years I've been doing this out there that is comparable to this concept. And I guess that's one of the things that I'm most excited about, because I do feel like this is really lacking for a lot of us. When we go and we're looking for options for health, whether it's exercise, whether it's diet, supplements, it's very hard to get a option that we know is going to work, because most of the things out there, if you look at what's available, they're going to be geared towards what we're going to get into here talking about here in a second, is geared more towards what we call a stratified approach to health. And again, there's nothing wrong with that, but you're going to see how it's not necessarily broken down here. So these are not just traditional one-size-fits-all options that you're going to see here with the Me+ology. So the approach is all about creating a nutritional plan that is specific to you. And other things that are out there, they are not all created equally. If you look at a lot of the programs that are available, they are still a general one-size-fits-all. And this is where we can really say that this approach is by far the most proven and researched and effective option, because we know it's individualized. So these are the three types of approaches we typically see today when we look at options for health and supplement type programs. So our first one is going to be our stratified approach. Now, some companies have started to dabble into getting more involved with working in this area, because it's a little bit more of just characterizing groups by looking at this as let's say, for example, if you're a female, if you're a certain age, if, you have your certain stage of life, then that categorizes you into one thing. So the limitation of this is all you are getting into, it's very limited, because it doesn't take the individual needs beyond just what those shared characteristics are. For example, if myself and Stacy are both in our 40s, that could be our characteristic, but it's not taking into account that maybe I'm obese and maybe Stacy has, two parents that are diabetic. These are going to change what we should be looking at adding into our diet. So this is what we really want to be just understanding, that when we start to realize that the approaches and what we can learn about this is very interesting. And that's why I said and a little while here, as we're learning more, guys, I said I want to do one whole, Zoom here specifically on the research and the science behind this, just again, because I do feel like it is so exciting here. But our next approach to looking at supplements is our tailored approach to health. And the tailored approach is going to be, again, basically categorizing people by the same features as looking at, okay, you're a man, you're a woman, you're a certain age, but it doesn't start to get into the fact that the stratified approach was, again, just your basic needs. But the limitation of this is it doesn't get into understanding what you also eat in your diet. And this is where this tailored approach is very limited, because rather than a individual focused, it's a little more group focused. So specifically, if you have someone that you say you have a history of health disease, for example, in your family. So basically that would mean that you would need to be adding something like omegas into your diet, where under a tailored approach, they would not take also into account if you also eat fatty fish weekly into your diet, because that's going to affect how much you need to be supplementing with. And that's where, again, this is opening up a whole new relationship of making this personalized. And this is what we're going to see is the innovation and the, excitement that we can now say we have a precision-based nutrition option. And this is something, like I said, I have never seen before. Most companies out there, if you look at what's in the marketplace, you're going to see a very general, here's a multivitamin, maybe for a man, maybe for a woman, but it's not going to give you any other features beyond that. So this is, again, I say when we talk about research here, guys, that the Me+ology has been so far developed, and I'm going to talk about some of the numbers here in a second. But this is what we want to see, guys. This is bringing together what you already are looking at as far as, your genetics, but then your diet, your lifestyle, and then putting that in together with what you should be supplementing with. And this is where we get the precision factor. So more precise. And this also means, guys, that this is more powerful because of the very unique recommendation engine that goes behind the recommendations with this. So I wrote down some of these numbers here because I knew I would not remember them. But so the first one here we have is that Me+ology can recommend more than 110 million possible product combinations. So if you think about that number, guys, 110 million. So none of us are going to be receiving the same information after we complete the assessment. It will be individualized for you. And it also says the recommendation is then further personalized using 639,000 modification-based decision points. And if that's not personalized enough, there are more than 10 million unique sets of personalized text that explain why nutrients and products are recommended. So this is what I really loved is the algorithm that goes into this makes this a very, unique idea, because this is part of what we've always said with the Shaklee difference, that there's proof. So they have the research, they have the idea that the numbers are then supporting, okay, what your algorithms you're putting in, they're reporting back to us. But then there's the patents that also are supporting this. And this is what we see here, guys, that there's hundreds of clinical studies that support our landmark study that we, have had for years. And that has continued to develop the research in what we're seeing now today with this whole Me+ology. So, and with the money back guarantee, I think that this is just by far the most comprehensive option that we have available. And we're going to get into talking a little bit here too, guys, because I know a lot of us, we already use a lot of Shaklee products. And I want to kind of highlight here what we know and what we can look at changing. So for some of us that we already know kind of our basic nutrients levels. So for you guys that maybe, for example, let's say that you're very familiar, probably if you're already using Shaklee products, the Vitalizer Strip or the Life Strip. This will be our common foundation product. Okay, this is a little more tailored. Okay, so this is giving us an option of men, women, or over 50. And this is great for covering the general basis of our needs for nutrients. There's nothing wrong with the Vitalizer and Life Strips. These are still amazing. We've used them for years. But the great thing that goes into what you're going to see, that even if you've been using Shaklee products for 40 plus years, we still want to take that assessment and use it as a guideline to maybe see what that assessment tells us to compare to what's in our foundation to what maybe we should look at adding a little differently into our regimen. So again, I want to encourage even people that have been using Shaklee forever, we still want to go in there and use it as a comparison point. And I'll explain mine here in a second and just some differences that I even, noticed from taking this. So it's very simple. So we go and we take a 5-minute assessment. All right. It's very, very easy to do. And anybody can do this, guys. If you are a member, you can ask your upline for them to send you a link. And if you are a distributor and you have a website, your link is right there. Otherwise, you can find it through Shaklee.com. It's right in the back office. There's a spot that says Me+ology, and you can take the assessment there. But this is, again, I love the questions. It's not just the typical, are you trying to lose 10 pounds? Do you eat any fruits and vegetables? It's a little bit more detailed, and that gives us more of a range to be able to get exactly what we are looking for. So here's the personalized plan that comes in, a matter of seconds once you submit all of the questions to your assessment. And you can see here, guys, that this is just a very, they said that what they did with this, guys, they researched it, they put it out there, they continue to redo it over and over again, and, have made this as simple as possible for people because nobody likes complex. And also, I do like the fact that, for example, let's say that Carla took this assessment and she didn't want Karen to see her results. Carla can say, hey, I just prefer to not have these results shared with anyone. And I know for some people, they're very nervous with assessments. So you can, always feel good that it's up to you who you want to see this. And nobody's going to be, consistently calling you because you took this assessment. This is something for you to know for your own health. Okay. So we want you to understand that this is going to give you options, maybe beyond what you already know. So there's our personalized, essentials option. And then there's our personalized essentials plus. So what's the difference? The essentials is going to be the foundation products, like a lot of the ones we see in our Vitalizer or our Life Strip. So it's generally going to have your multivitamins and then added on a couple products of probably whatever your questions answered relate to your highest goals. So you're also going to choose your goals and what you're trying to work on. So you'll also find that generally, I believe with the essentials pack, you're going to have no more than, I believe it's 7 items in 7, suggested pills there total. And then with the essentials plus, that's going to be a much more comprehensive. So that's going into more of some of those target areas that you answered your questions on, and will give you, more details based on that. So I wanted to just kind of, let you guys know. I mean, this is mine. Is nothing to hide. So it's great to just kind of share, how you can see, like, this is my personal one. I just screenshotted mine so you guys could see it. So I can choose, do I want to take my essentials, which is broken down, how many tablets per day? How much is my average cost per day? And this is a 30-day regimen. So you can see once you get this, guys, these are just little individual packets. You rip one off. You can choose to take 1 and 2 together, or you can take 1 in the morning and 1 at night if I'm doing the Essentials Plus, which I am. So, for me, I have been pretty much on the same, I would say, program for quite a while and did not really, I kind of, if I'm feeling pretty good, I don't tend to change it. You just kind of get in your routine. But after finding and thinking about these results, it kind of got me just, a little bit more into, I never thought about that. Like adding extra antioxidants, because I'll be honest with you guys, I don't always eat enough vegetables. That's my weakest area for sure. And I never thought of adding Carotamax into my diet. And that's also for eye health. And one of the questions they ask you is, how much time do you spend on a screen per day? So it gets into more than just saying, oh, osteoporosis runs in your family, you need to take Osteomatrix and something for your bone health. This goes into giving you further breakdown. So now there is going to be a lot of questions, though, because I know some people are going to say, well, I take this already with this. This isn't saying that you can't keep some of those other products with this, okay? This is just giving you, according to the assessment, your best recommendations for improving your health. So I can tell you guys a few other things that I don't generally include. I don't lately add extra vitamin D3 because I feel like during the summer I don't need it as much. But when I read the why, it kind of does make sense. So just because you're outside, it doesn't always mean you're absorbing it. And that's, I'll show you my whys here too, which I think this is pretty cool. And the GLA complex, like as a woman, if you're still, if you haven't went through menopause yet and you have any symptoms of PMS symptoms, the headaches, the cramps, and you can definitely benefit from having more something like gamma-linolenic acid, which is GLA complex, into your regimen. And again, I haven't been taking that, and I was like, that's a great idea. But the thing that I again absolutely love about this, guys, that I said this is what really excites me, because I feel like we go to these places and we buy these things, and a lot of it's because, it has pretty labels, or somebody bragged about how they lost 20 pounds taking this magic pill, and now 2 weeks later, and here they are, doing amazing. And this is what people are missing so much of, is understanding why they're actually taking it. And they don't know if it's really safe. So we have the proof, we have the patents, we have the research, but here's the why. So when it's telling me I should be taking something like Omega Guard, why am I taking that? And I love the breakdown of this to tell you how many you should be taking per day and your cost per day of each one of these. And as you go through the assessment, you can actually use a toggle and change if you want to maybe take one of these off. So you have flexibility a little bit, but it's telling you, hey, here's my main recommendations and here's why. So I do think that this brings so much value into the being scared of knowing what supplements to take, and really truly does make this an individual experience to make it cater to your specific nutritional needs. And I love the little package. Everything is, recyclable. It's put together in a great simplified way. You get your box. It's exciting. Everything has your name on it. So, you're not going to mix this up with anybody else's vitamins, because it's got your name on it every single day, which is just kind of, makes it a little more special. And again, that whole individualized thing is something that I do think you're going to be more motivated to stick with your regimen when you know it's for you. And when you can stick with it, that's how you're going to also notice the long-term results, which is what we're all about, and trying to, really truly make this a whole approach to building health. And again, it's a simple assessment. You can retake it anytime, and it will actually tell you right at the end of your program, and it can say, retake it anytime. So, the algorithms, guys, like I said, I cannot emphasize enough that this is going to be specifically categorized to you. Now, these were a few things I wanted to add on here, guys. And for some of you guys that I know were taking part in the recent Shackley conference, it was just last weekend, we're still, as I said, learning a ton. But a lot of the workshops that they talked about this are actually still available to us in Shackley TV. Anybody can go in there and watch some of these. And some of these things were talked about, and I screenshot them because I thought these were really helpful to know. So when we're getting a package put together, these are generally the products that are included as your targeted options. Okay, so you're going to notice not every product of Shackley, the over 300 products, can be included in here, right? So they have to pick the main ones. Now, let's say, for example, you're wondering, why did it suggest Osteomatrix over taking a chewable CalMag? They're going to pick the hero product of what has the most of what nutrient that you are showing maybe a deficiency in, if that makes sense. So they're not going to have you taking multiples of everything. It's going to be specific to whatever that main nutrient was. So, I just think that's kind of important to highlight, because we want to know that when we're getting our products, for example, you'll see on here that, maybe something that you've been taking for a very long time. For some of us, I'll just say on here, for example, something like energy tea, that could be listed as an other underneath, but it's not something you necessarily have to take every day. So even, maybe like our metabolic boost, that could be something that you're using occasionally. So it might not put that in your pack, because it would be an additional thing, because it's not necessarily a option that's targeted. So here's some add-on things that you will see that, again, you'll see this might not be included in your specific little packet, but it will give you underneath your results some other things to add on according to your goals. So, and again, I just love that this makes it very simplified. It makes it easy for us to know. And I encourage you guys all to go out there and do the assessment, have your spouses do it, have some friends do it, and start to just compare, because it's really interesting to see. And I've, had quite a few people now completing them. And I actually love reading them, not even just to, go back and say, how am I going to help these people? But it's just interesting to see how the options are different. And when I think about what some of these people are already taking and I see what it recommended, there are some things we do very well on, but there's also some things I've been like, yeah, that definitely should be added on. So I just wanted to make sure we kind of highlight that and we kind of get an idea here for what we can also see and look forward to here, guys. So this is, again, just beginning. We're going to keep learning more. And I know people are going to have questions as we're, going forward with this. So I really just wanted to spend 20 minutes, guys, and we are right there. So I'm going to go ahead and open it up for you guys if you want to unmute yourself and ask some questions. And this screen that I just popped up here really fast, I wanted to make sure that you guys saw this. I know it's not related to Me+ology, but it just was available today. And I thought this was an amazing screen to showcase the different immunity products, because this is an area right now that we are really highlighting as immunity. And just to understand all the different Shaklee product options, what the ingredients are, how they should be used, the support, the boost, and defense, it's all labeled out. So I thought this was really helpful. So I wanted to make sure everybody saw that. And feel free to screenshot it. And I also shared it in Lifestyle Group if you want to go in there and take a look at that. So, but I thought that was great. All right, guys, any questions, or any of you guys that maybe took the assessment, if you'd like to add anything, feel free to here, please.
I just had a question. So I did the assessment and I was just curious, is the price that it comes up with as like your estimated daily price, do you know, is that the same as it would be if you parsed it all out yourself?
That was a great question. And you know what? I have not seen anybody answer that yet, Jennifer. So that is yeah. And I thought about trying to do the math, but that's a lot of work. So.
Oh, it is. And because honestly, like, it probably ends up being that big, but I was like, oh, wow, I'm expensive. Like at first, like, because I was like, oh yeah, I like that idea. And I like that idea.
Right.
But then I started doing it for Grace and for Brian. And I was like, well, this is really cool. But as a family, is it smarter to buy just and parse it out yourself? So I just didn't know the answer to that.
No, that's a great question. If I hear, I'll definitely let you know too. I was kind of waiting for somebody else to figure that out and answer it because I didn't want to, but I was thinking about this though too. Great question. And if you look at though, for example, there, my first pack there, and just all the bottles of that, to break that down, I think it's got to be pretty comparable,
That's what I was thinking too. Yeah.
It's definitely not more expensive. And I think it's either comparable or a little bit less then. So.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Great question though.
Well, and I like the fact that you don't have to, like, I'm awful at predicting when we're going to run out of stuff, and it's always at a different time. So
yeah,
I like that you kind of know.
Yeah, it would make it easy. It's 30 days, you get your regimen and boom, there it is. And I just love the bottles because we have so many bottles. It's nice to not have to have 30 bottles of everything.
That leads to one more question. So I haven't, like, I didn't go back and see if it saved correctly or not, but like when I did one for Grace, then like, is it okay to use the same email address, or is that what generates the saving?
You should be able to use the same email address. The only issue will be some of you guys, if your spouse is taking it, I think Carla asked this, that you have to have them added to your account, and then they would actually create their own, using their email, sign in with that to do one, because if you both want to order them each month, you have to have a way to create an individual account, even though you're joint together as a distributor.
That makes sense. Okay, that's important to know. Okay.
Yeah. So good. All right, guys.
I have a quick question. I did the assessment and I'm trying to find it again, and I can't get back to it.
Good question.
That is a great question. Very easily, guys. So really quickly here, I'm going to, which I highly recommend everybody, if you're a member, you're a distributor, you're a business leader, there's 2 apps available for Shaklee now. We have our Shaklee Connect app, which that is going to be the easiest way for you to go on. I am on my main page. When I open up Shaklee Connect, it brings up my dashboard, and all I got to do is scroll down to the bottom, Carla, and I can view any Me+ology completed assessments, including yours. So it's all listed right in that report. When I click on it, every one of them's listed there.
So you can only do it on your phone then, per se?
Oh no, you can do it on your computer too. Just log into Shaklee.com and it's the same same thing. If you scroll down when you're in your dashboard, you'll see completed Me+ology reports.
Okay. And it should show both mine and
Yep.
Dick's then? Okay.
Any of your members too underneath you if anybody's done one. So yep, they'll all be in there. And you can also, if you're on your computer, when you log in, there's actually a spot at the top that it should say Me+ology next to like your auto ship tab at the very top of your screen.
Yeah, but then you just get the information. I didn't think it was, your personal one.
Yeah, nope, that's it. That's your personal one right up there.
Okay,
So, yep.
gotcha. Okay.
Yep. Good
I'll
question.
keep looking.
Yeah, no, that's great. Good. Anybody else?
I do, Amanda.
Okay, I was like, I see you moving your head, but
Well, I can't find that dumb mute button back quick,
That's funny.
so I didn't want you to move on. Okay, so the Life Shakes obviously does not fit into, a vitamin supplement packet. So where does that fall? Like as just a extra to always add on, or how do they suggest that for somebody? Or how, where did that kind of go? Because it was always the shakes and the vitalizer, or, the Life Strip, the vitalizer strip as your basic nutrition component. So where does that kind of fall right now?
I think it has to do with, again, depending on the goals you chose, like if you had a fitness goal or if you, had more of a, weight loss goal, for sure that pops up underneath, but it does not for everyone. So, that would be another one of those you'd have to just know if you're already using it, definitely to add on. So yeah, good question. And I know that there's going to be way more that we're going to understand on this. Like I said, it's only been out a week here, guys, so we are definitely learning. But somebody just asked too a question about, vegan. And yes, there is a spot in there where it does ask gluten-free, which every product is gluten-free, but it does ask if you have any additional needs. So, it will be helpful for you guys that do have some specific, allergies, that you can put that in there, and that will help cater to what it gives you for options. So, so Stacy, sorry, I probably didn't answer your question all that well, but I think, every person that I've seen so far, it doesn't always recommend Life Shake. So I think it really does depend on one of those questions. So that's a good thing to highlight. And I did have someone, I thought it was interesting, and it must be because they must have chose a athletic type goal, that it had recommended both the physique, which is the build plus, and it recommended build, which I thought that was interesting. So I was like, they must have big, type of goals that they're working towards. So I thought that was interesting, but yeah, it's kind of neat to see. So good questions, guys. Anybody else? All right. Okay, guys. Well, I hope this was helpful. And, we'll keep breaking this down the more we learn. So you guys have some topic suggestions, please bring them up to us, guys. This is what we're here for, to help you guys and educate you and be able to bring different information to you. So you guys that are hanging out for a few minutes here, we'll go ahead and switch over, talking a little bit about just a couple business things real fast. So have a great night, everyone. Go take your Me+ology assessment. Let us know how it goes. So thank you.